Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It depends on where you are. Thank you for coming to this session. And today we will talk about this cloud-based printing API to enable the label and receipt print capability. This is based on the Zebra data services and also Zebra Savannah cloud platforms. So in today's talk, we are going to cover what is this SendFile to Printer API, and what does this API do, and how does this API look like, and we will also go over where we can get started, how to install a printer with the Zebra Savannah platform, and in the end, we will discuss how to use this API in Java and JavaScript and show some demos. So at the end of this presentation, we hope the audience can start to get their hands on this API and use it straight away without much difficulties. So let's say, what is this SendFile to API? It's a RESTful API, which means it's a language and platform agnostic. So you can use this API in any applications and from any platforms. And you can print labels and receipts from anywhere to any link-OS printers that connects to the Zebra Savannah cloud. So in this high-level diagram, you can see all those printers are link-OS printers. They connect to the Savannah cloud through the WebSocket or web links with a secured SSL, TSL connection, which is encrypted and secure. So you can rest for sure your printer are safe, and the messages you send between your application and the printer are safe and encrypted. And also these APIs are implemented through the Zebra data services. They provide this API, allows you to include this API in any type of applications, either web app, mobile app, or desktop app. But one thing just to keep in mind, this API is a unidirectional API, which means you can send the content to the printer, but you cannot get or retrieve back from the printer. So what is the API can do for you? The name, as the name explained, is a send file to printer. So any content in a file format can be sent to the printer through this API. And what type of content you can send to the printer? Those are the content defined. It has to be legitimate content defined in the Zebra programming guide. So there is a hyperlink. So at the end of the presentation, when we share the slides, you can get to the Zebra programming guide. So which defines a bunch of content you can send to the printer, including the ZPL formats that for the labels and the receipts, as well as fonts, graphics, and objects, as well as Wi-Fi certificates. And you can also use this API to configure those printers through the SGD commands, set, get, do commands. And those commands, there are two formats. One is a plain text SGD, another format is in JSON. We will show you that later in our demo. And there is one limit in the file size of this content. You can only send up to 10 megabytes content to those printers. And of course, you can print from anywhere and link-OS printers. The reason we say is link-OS printers because only those printers have the WebSocket and the web link capabilities, so that they can connect to the Savannah cloud through the WebSocket. This is how the API looks like. There are like 4 parameters you need to specify in this HTTP request. It's a HTTPS post request with multi-part form data. So there are 4 parameters. Of course, you need to specify the API key, right? This is the one you need to apply through our developer web portal, and also your tenant ID, which also we call it a tenant account number, whatever. This can be obtained from the web portal as well. And then you need to specify the printer serial number. You can specify multiple printer serial numbers, which means one API call, you can send the content to multiple printers as you like. it will be counted as one API call. And also you append the file name, to the file field, in this multi-part request. So that's the content. That file contains the content to be sent to these printers. So this is a typical format of a curl commands. So you can say we specify headers for API key and the tenant ID, and then we specify the serial number in the form data -f, as well as the file name itself. And the actual URL for this API is on the bottom. Okay, then you may ask how do I get started? So the first thing you do is you log on to the developer.zaper.com, where you can apply for an account if you don't have an account already. So you just click on the register. If you already have an account, you can just log in, right? Once you log in, you need to choose the SendFile to printer packages in your account, to add them in your account through the list of the packages. So how do you do that? You can go to the My Data Services, click on the packages, or you can go to the products and then platforms and go to the data services to get this manual show up here on the screen. So this is where you click and select the package. You have two packages, one is free, one is PPC. So what the difference is of them? The free package allows you to have 100 API calls per day. So you can have 100 API calls in your application, for a day without charge. And remember, we said that you can send the content to multiple printers. So you have like 100 printers. You can use one API code to send this content to 100 printers. Not a problem. And with the PPC package here, so this package is a prepaid package called pay per call package. You have to charge your account with a balance. And the charge for per API call is 1 cent per API call. Again, you can use one API call to send the content to multiple printers, same as the one for the free package. Okay, and then you need to, once you add those packages into account, you need to go verify whether those packages being added to your account successfully or not. So you can click on the products, products, and then platforms, and then data services. That will bring you to the Savannah portal on our developer portal. So that's where you go click the My Data Services and the packages. So that will lead to the package portal. And underneath there is a purchase plan, and you need to make sure those SendFile to printer packages, either one of them being added to your account. That will enable you to create an app to have a key which will be associated with this package, so that you can use that API key to send to call this API and send file to the printer. Okay, and then let's go to create an app. So that you have the packages you already added into your account. You can create an app. So where do you start? You go to the developer portal, right? Click on the data services, and then the apps. So that will bring you to the add app web page. And there is a button, add a new app. That's where you can create a new app. You simply specify the name of the app. That's just for the purpose which you can remember from the portal perspective, whether this API key is going to be useful, right? And you check mark one of those packages you just add into your account, either free or PPC. We do not recommend you to add those packages into one app because they will be treated equally the same. So you get charged for the PPC as well as charged for the free. So the one API code will be counted towards both free package as well as the PPC package. So you only need to click on one package when you create an app for using the SendFile to print API. what is the API key? So once you have this app created, you can then go back to the data services and click on the apps and then open the apps. That will, this is like a new app we just created, in the previous slide. And that will lead you to the API key. So this is the API key we highlighted here. So you need to copy paste this API key into your application because any request header to the SendFile to printer API requires you to have this API key as well as a tenant ID. We will get that later. So this is the API key. You have to copy paste that into your application. Okay, the next step, we have to install our printer. We already set up the portal part. Now we need to install our printer with the Savannah cloud. So as we said, once you have the account created on the develop portal, you can go to the My Data Services and click on the device. That will lead you to the device web page, and where there is a button called Add Device. So this button allows you to add a new printer to register the printer with the Savannah Cloud platform. And once you click on the add device, you select the printer on the drop down, and then click on the enrollment, get the enrollment stream button. So that will give you this enrollment stream will show up on the web portal once you click on the get enrollment stream. And here, let's take a look at what this enrollment stream does to configure your printer. So this is a JSON format. The entire string is a JSON format. The first thing, it configures the log entry to 500 entries. So you can check the log associated with the web link, up to 500. You can change the number to whatever you like. And then it configures the web link IP connection location 1. You pay attention to there are two web link connections on the printer, either connection 1 or connection 2. By default, this get enrollment string return your string associated with connection 1, but you could change it to location 2 if you like. You simply just replace the number 1 with 2. So that will allows you to configure the location, web link location 2 on the printer. And then it pass the URL of this Savannah Cloud platform URL, so which is the string up to here, and then attach the R value to this string. So this R value, what it is, the R value is the tenant ID. So you need to copy paste this tenant ID into your application as well, along with the API key as two headers added into your request in order to use this API. And in the end, this device reset will trigger the printer to go reset, and which will take those settings into effect after the reset completes. And for more detail, you can always go to those links. Either to go to the tenant services. That's an alternative how to retrieve the tenant ID through the web portal, or you can go to the printer setup guide, which will be 2 links on this slide deck. That will tell us about the details, step by step. Okay, so we have a printer installed with the Libra Savannah platform, and then we need to verify whether the enrollment are successful or not, right? We need to, previously we showed this enrollment string. We also need to send this string to the printer, right? So how to do that? We can use the setup utility for Windows or Android or for iOS. Those are independent apps. Here the screenshot shows the setup utility for Windows. So once you receive that string previously, you need to copy that string into a file, save that as a file, so that you can use those tools to send that file to the printer. So if you use this setup utility for Windows, and what you do is you click on the printer, and then click on the open communication with the printer. So that will lead you to this window, and you simply copy paste the enrollment string into this window, right? And then click on send to the printer. That will push this string onto the printer, and the trigger will reset on the printer. And another alternative, you could use the Z-Designer drivers on your PC. And Z-Designer, Z-Designer driver. So how do you get that? You just simply type on the search panel on the Windows, search for the printers and scanners. It will pop up a window and give you a list of those connected printers. And then you click on the Manage button, and that will pop up a detail of the drivers. And you select the printer property and go to the driver setting and click on the settings. You will see there is a button called Send File, and which allows you to navigate to the location where you have that enrollment string stored, and then click on the Send button. So that will send this enrollment string onto your printer, right? Once the printer reboots, you need to verify whether the printer is registered with Savannah Cloud Platform successfully or not, right? So the way we verify also through the setup utility on Windows. And there is a command we use, which is called the get var web link. This command will retrieve all those log entries for the web link. And what you are looking for is you are looking for those text in the log. So if it shows con1 or con2, either one of them, because we have two web link connections, right? So it depends on which one you selected in your enrollment string, and you are going to look for these messages to make sure it is successfully connected to the Savannah Cloud. If it's not, if you don't see this message, and then what you need to do is you need to make sure there is no typo in your enrollment string, because the enrollment string is a JSON format. So you need to make sure you have the comma properly at the end of each parameters, right? And also you also need to make sure the current date and time on the printer are current, because the date and time is used to verify the secured connection through the TLS. So if your date on the printer is outdated, way back into last year, it will successfully connect to the Savannah Cloud. So those are the two areas to look at. There is another way to verify whether the printer has been registered with the Savannah Cloud successfully or not through the web portal. But this is only for the very first time. So if you just create a new account, and this is the first time to install this printer with the platform, and you can use this method. So you simply go to the My Data Services and drop down and click on the My Device. So that will bring you to the My Device page. And you would see that the printers you registered will be listed under here. So why I say this is only applicable if this is the first time, because if somehow the printer is not turned on, right? And those printers will still be listed under here because the previous registration will anchor those printers being listed on this page for the rest of their lives, but as long as those printers has not registered to another tenant ID. So those printers will be listed regardless whether those printers are online or offline, right? So that's why this is applicable for the first time, to register a printer, so you can verify from the portal. So once you have the API key, tenant ID, and the printer installed with the platform, and then you can test it out. So there are 3 ways to test. First, you can go straight to the portal, send the file to API portal. On the portal, we have a test page. So that's where you specify the API key. Specify the API key and also the tenant ID, as well as the serial number, and select the file you want to send to the printer. So use this page and click on execute. That will demonstrate whether those settings are correct or not for your particular printer, right? So remember, you put the serial number of the printer here, okay? Let me go back to the, sorry. Let's restart your PowerPoint. Shoot. Yeah. Go to testing page. Okay. The second, first approach, you can use the portal page for the SendFile to printer API to do the testing. And the second, you can use the Postman. You can download the Postman. And this is a screenshot of use the Postman to do the testing. And lastly, you can use the curl directly from your Windows command line by specifying the curl commands. This is an example. So that's another way for you to do the testing. If we want to use this API in our application, what do we do? So the first, I will show you how to use Java to use this API. So for user convenience, we create a convenience class called Zebra SFTP, stands for SendFile to Printer API, multi-part body publisher.java. So this Java file can be downloaded from our developer portal. This is the hyperlink. Once you get the presentation, click on the hyperlink that will lead to the web page where you can download this file. By using this convenience Java class, it's very easy. So you just first create a URI based on the URL of this API, and then define your serial number, your API key, and also the tenant ID, right? Those are the examples showing up here. You have to use yours in order to make it work. And then get the path to the file. So this is just an example. I have a hello world.txt, which contain a ZPL format. Simply print out a hello world label, right? So you create a path and based on the location, right? And then you use a Zebra SFTP MP body publisher class to create a publisher, right? We simply use new method, and then you can have this add serial number multiple times, as we said. The single call of the API can send the content to multiple printers. You can either add the same serial number multiple times, or you can add different serial number. So if you have multiple printers connected to the Savannah cloud, you can simply use the add SN, add multiple times to this request body, and then set the ZPL file at the end. As you remember, you can only send one file at a time. So you cannot attach multiple ZPL files. So only one file at a time, but multiple printer serial numbers. And then you create this request, right? This is a standard Java HTTP request. You call the new builder and pass in the URI as well as the API key, tenant ID, and also define the content type, which has to be multi-part form data. And then you specify a boundary, because the multi-form data requires to have a boundary. This boundary is already defined in our Java convenience class. It's called getBoundary. So the publisher, so that will put the boundary in the request body, and then you simply use a post the entire publisher stream to the through the request to the Savannah data services. So this is the code. You create this client, right? And call this client send put the request here, and then this is the handler for the response. You can check the response whether successful or not. Just example, print out on the in the log file. So this is how you can use the convenience class to send this the content that you want to the printer through the Java. Yeah, if you want to do that through the JavaScript, so this code snippet, it's very easy, much simpler. We don't need any convenience method for the JavaScript, and you can also get the demo code through this hyperlink from our GitHub. We have a demo code on our GitHub, so that's where you can download it. So what you do is you first create the XML HTTP request object, and then specify it's going to be a post, right? And put the URL of this API right there, and then set up the header for the API key and the header for the tenant ID, right? And then you create an object for the form data in the JavaScript, and append the file. The file is passed in through this function, right? And the key for this file is called ZPL underscore file, so that's the key. And then you append the serial number to the form data because it's item, like serial numbers, we pass in as an array in the JavaScript. So you go through each one of them and then append them to the form data. And in the end, send the form data through this request. So that's how you work with JavaScript. Okay, next I would like to run a demo, to show this how it works. Let's exit this PowerPoint slides, and let me show you the demo. So I have a camera connected to my PC and shows a live view of two printers. One is ZQ310, that's a ZQ310. Another is ZQ610. So those two printers, they connected to the Savannah cloud through my home Wi-Fi. And I have a JavaScript. So this is application I downloaded from the GitHub, right? I downloaded from the GitHub. So I launched from the GitHub. There are three examples. The first one is to send a file to the printer, right? So we have a serial number that's corresponding to the ZQ310. We have another printer, right? ZQ610. So let's get the serial number of ZQ610. This is my ZQ610. I connected through the website is on the printer because both printers connect my home Wi-Fi, so I can get to this page, and I simply copy paste my serial number and add a new printer from here. Copy paste in, right? And then I choose a file, right? The file I'm going to choose is a hello world. But let's see what the hello world does. So we can first open it up to see. So it simply prints out the hello world. So that's as simple as it is. Let's close it. And then we click on hello world. Click on open. So now we are going to send this hello world to the printer. So let's click on send this file to the printer. Yeah, it says went through successfully. Now you see it in advanced, right? So you may not see the, hopefully you see this, the hello world and the hello world, right? And it only advanced by less than an inch, right? So we can do it one more time. Send the file again. So the hello will be printed. This is a typical use case. We can also send the configuration data, as we mentioned earlier, right? So we have this set label length to 600 dots. So let's see what is the file look like. Oh, it's a JSON, right? We send the label length to 600 dots, and the media feed with 0. So we don't want to waste the media. So the media feed with 0. Okay, let's do that. Okay, we select this file. Okay. The file is set label length to 600. Okay, we already did that. It's close this one. Okay. So let's go back to this display for just for a second. We want to verify it. Right. So the current label length is 100, right? For both printers, 100 as well, right? Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Let's. Unfortunately, we need to select the file again and add a second printer. Second printer's serial number. We copy paste. Okay, and we send the configuration file to the printer, and it says okay, both are successful. And let's go back to verify it. We knew previously it was set to 100 dots, right? Let's refresh this display. Now it changed to 600 for both printers, right? It's 100. Let's refresh. Okay, change it to 600. Yes. So we can use this API to configure the printer as well. So now what we want to do is we want to do another demo to print out to do a template printing. I'm not going to go through how I created the templates. I created the templates through the Zebra Designer for developer. This is a tool. I will have another session in this afternoon to cover the Zebra Designer. So this is how the visitor badge look like, right? So the Zebra Designer, I'm going to print out the badge for my visitor. So I already set up the label length to 600 dots. I also need to add the second printer, okay? And also I need to choose the template, which I already created as a visitor badge, right? So I choose the template, okay? I simply specify my name, even say the company. Okay, I'm going to print this badge for myself. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, yeah, does. Okay, so it does print out those two badges. Let's do it one more time. Yeah, does print out, yeah, two badges. This is one, another one. Okay. So let's go back to say what's a third example. A third example allows me to create a receipt. So that's another typical use case. So if I'm a vendor, I would like to have an app to print out the receipt for my client. Let's first add a second printer as well, right? So second printer, and then the receipt. How the receipt look like? The receipt template is also defined, created by the Zebra Designer for Developer tool, and this is the receipt. I want to print it out. So the receipt typically contains three parts: header, body, and footer. So header is always has some like company names, contact phone numbers, etc. The body would be the total. The body would be the items you purchased. Okay, so I'm not going to go to the detail of the receipt template itself. Let's see how this works. I have the receipt template created in this folder. So that this one. Let me click on OK. So we have the sample receipt right here. And let's add another item. Banana. And the price is $5. Let's add another item. Apple. $3. Okay, let's total. Let's say 100 plus $8. $108. Okay, and then let's print out. Okay, so this time somehow they print in a different orientation. Yeah, probably because the orientation was set up differently in the template itself. Okay, let's try one more time. That's done better. Yeah. Okay, so this is a very powerful API. Allows me to create an application using a cloud-based printing to print my template or receipt, either label or receipt through the template printing. So it's quite useful, powerful API. It also allows me to configure my printers as well. So let me go back to the presentation. From here. Okay, this slide captures all the references I used for creating this slide deck. So when you have time, you go to those more details captured in those references. Okay, now we have some time for questions. If we have, let me check if we have any questions.
I think we do have one, Steve.
Okay. How do I check those questions from my end?
It's on the Q&A feature, or I can read the question out loud. The question is from Gurdeep. How can we print a label on a ZQ120 printer using Xamarin?
Oh, that is outside this SendFile to printer API itself, right? First of all, ZQ120, I don't remember that is a link OS printer. I doubt probably it's not a link OS printer. If it's not link OS printer, you cannot use this API. Okay. But what you could do is you could use a Bluetooth connection, use link OS SDK instead of this API to connect to the printer and then print the label from there.
Okay, and I think we have a few other questions that have been answered by Robin. So I'm just gonna read those out loud so to share the knowledge with everyone. The first one is from Fritz, and the question is, we are thinking of using WebPrint for our customer facing app, but can't be sure how many print requests will occur each month. What happens if we overrun the PPC count? And the answer is PPC is unlimited as long as you have a credit in the account. The packages page has a billing section where you can check your balance. It can be refilled at any time, and if you run out, the API will give a 400 level error. So for more information about the packages and the prices, please check our developer portal. And the other question from Dino is, in code, Java, for example, can we send the ZPL text in a string in place of a file? And the answer is you will need to make the string into a blob. Currently, it only takes files and blobs. I think we have a new question as well. No, actually, we don't have any more questions.